Chico today. He's Chucky. He's Chucky today. Trav, we already broke into some drink. We got Seagram's.
Yeah.
This is the quarantine rations, right?
Truly
That's
my
funny.
quarantine rations. I got about 7 bottles left though.
Damn, I think I already blew through my quarantine liquor rations.
Oh, shit.
I did buy some beer today though. That was
Yeah.
that was a mission and a half. I went to Stater Brothers.
Yeah. What kind of beer you get?
I got Pacifico.
Nice. Because I heard Corona's on sale.
Yeah. Yeah. This
Great deal.
This episode of Irate Masterminds is brought to you by Seagram's Extra Smooth Vodka and COVID-19.
Yes.
You
know what? Seagram's. Here you go.
Thank you, sir.
A lot of people don't know.
Damn.
And they sleep on it. Seagram's is pretty fucking good. It's not Tito's, not Ciroc. But if you're looking for something, 16, 17 bucks for like a handle and don't want something that tastes like gasoline that's been mixed with water, this is the way to go. Extra smooth vodka, Seagram's.
Yeah, that gas, dude. This is, wow, it's 40%. Holy,
Yeah.
I think all vodkas are 40%. But you know what? This is so good. Look at what it says. It says it's distilled 5 times. That's why.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so anything over like 3, distilled 3, you're going to be in good shape. And what do you got over here?
So I got a bunch of mixers.
Yeah, what you got?
This is one of my favorites, the Brooklyn lime, cherry lime.
Nice.
That's really good with the vodka.
Okay.
I needed a little wake up. I'm a little groggy. Took
Okay.
about 4 naps today.
Uh-huh.
So the blue edition, blueberry.
I like that. It's actually really good. I wish I could drink Red Bull all the time.
Oh yeah. If I didn't know I was gonna die extra,
Exactly.
5 years. And then classic pink lemonade, brisk.
Nice.
Yeah. So pick your poison.
Would you mind if I had some of that cherry lime?
Hell yeah, dude.
I would drink the Red Bull, but I have to sleep because
Yeah. See,
I got a long day tomorrow.
I don't like to sleep.
A long day tomorrow. Because we were gonna do this tomorrow.
Yeah.
But then I remembered I didn't.
Mhm.
It's gonna be like a long day. So
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers,
my guy.
man.
Here's
You know, bro.
here's 2. This looks like lean.
Right? Don't taste like it.
Ooh. That's kind of
It's not bad.
that's kind of good.
Not bad.
That's a drink and a half. Man, I've been since I've been home. I haven't been home that much.
Right.
But when I'm here, like today, I just made some bomb ass potato soup.
Potato soup.
Yeah, like I've been cooking, man, like cooking my ass off. Yeah.
See, I'm saving recipes on my phone, but I haven't attempted to make any of them. Yeah, I probably got about 15 recipes that I want to try.
Yeah.
But I should try. But just too lazy to go get the ingredients.
You got to do it, man. I made this before, but I actually left out a lot of ingredients until I realized what I had to put in there.
What's in it?
So, so I started with some, what do you call it? Oh, like that bacon from the
can?
the butcher bacon.
Oh, the thick
the
slices.
thick cut, the one with a lot of fat on it.
Okay.
Just the big thick slices, and it came in like I don't know. I think I got like
a slab
2
type
pounds
shit.
of that shit.
Damn. Okay.
I ate some on Saturday,
Yeah.
but I used the rest today. So what I did, follow me for more recipes. So I chopped that up. I fucking made it crispy. Took it out of the pan. Left some bacon grease in there. Made a little roux with some caramelized onions. Hold on.
You speak fancy,
Yeah,
right?
caramelize some onions in the bacon fat. You add a little flour in there to make a roux.
Okay.
Threw some garlic in there, some minced garlic, some chopped onions. Caramelize that a little bit, get some flavor going.
Yeah.
And then you get your potatoes.
Okay.
And then you get some chicken broth.
Oh, from scratch.
Yeah. No, this is all from
shit.
this is scratch as fuck. I'm gonna call me Better Crocker, motherfucker. So I chopped up, I don't know, it must have been like 10 potatoes maybe.
Okay.
So I did that. It took me about an hour and a half to make the dish.
Just prepping.
Just prepping.
Yeah,
the whole thing. It probably took. It doesn't take long to cook, but it did. Of course, it takes long to prep. So I chopped that up. I threw those motherfuckers in there. I got some motherfucking chicken broth. I threw that in there. Get some milk, some salt, some pepper.
This is sounding good.
Oh, some yogurt, some plain yogurt.
Okay.
Just to give it a little creaminess.
Secret. Okay.
And then also some sour cream.
Okay.
So maybe like a quarter to a half a cup of each of those, and plus the milk, it makes it real creamy.
Yeah.
And then you throw in some fucking cheddar cheese, some sharp cheddar cheese.
So the flavor, okay, I got
And
you.
then now you're just swimming in creaminess, swimming in dairy. It's so
See,
good.
now I'm hungry.
I have some left if you want, but
I am going to try it.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. Okay,
I'm
cool.
not one of those who be like, oh no, thank you. No, you offer me something. Okay,
it's fucking delicious.
That.
And then you just let it simmer for a little bit, and then check on it 10 minutes or 20 minutes later. You mash the potatoes a little bit, however, whatever you want the consistency.
And I'm a potatoes got like French fries, mashed potatoes, wedges, like anything potato. I love that.
So it came out fucking delicious, and I ate two bowls. Dude, look at my cheeks right here. Look at this shit.
Oh yeah, I'm not. So I started a new discipline regimen. So whenever I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, okay, that's it. We can't go any further than this.
Yeah.
So I always I start with my 10-day process.
Yeah.
So I write a little chart and I divide it into 2 rows, 5 little boxes, and I set a goal. So I do 50 push-ups a day, 100 jumping jacks, and 50 sit-ups. You feel me?
Yeah.
So as soon as I do those 10 days in a row, then I'm good to go.
Really?
You know what I mean? It sparks something in you, keeps you going. So today's the 2nd day, and then it keeps you honest because when you see the check mark unchecked, then you got to start all over if you miss a day. You feel me? So
that's kind of like the LA Fitness app, Curtis.
Yeah.
Curtis actually talked to us about the LA Fitness thing this week.
He does a HIIT program, right?
He does. He said it's the best workout you ever have. I mean, it looks intense, but they have the app where you open it up and you can see what days you miss. You'll be like, oh shit, I better get on it. And it
keeps you honest.
So that's pretty cool. But I like that. It's kind of an old school way to do it.
Yeah. I learned it from one of my uncles a long time ago. He was like, it just keeps you honest. You see it every day. Put it on the board. Put it on your bed. Put it on the ceiling. Somewhere where you can't miss it. He used to do it on the bathroom.
That's actually smart because it instills that discipline. For me, I think being disciplined is like my biggest flaw, to be honest. And it sucks because I don't want to say that I have like ADD, but I kind of have that creative ADD.
Yeah.
And so I want to do a million projects at once.
But you only have 2 hands, 1 body. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then I get stuck and nothing ends up getting finished because I'm torn and it's like my own fault. But yeah, I mean, to write those goals out, to have them visual, is probably a good thing. I have to try it.
Yeah.
I have to try
it's almost like manifesting it before you actually do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of times I write stuff in my notes, out of sight, out of mind. But whatever I write on my whiteboard at work, at home, whatever is like open and visual for me to see, I usually stick with it. You know what I mean? So, some of the most treasured accomplishments I've ever done, it was from, just staying disciplined.
Yeah.
It could be simple as like, hey, I don't want to bite my nails this month.
That's one thing that I saw this week. There was a guy who is doing 1,000 push-ups a day, and he's writing it on a piece of paper. Yeah, he's doing 10 at a time, 25 at a time. I think he goes 10 at a time till I don't know 300.
That's how you start.
And then he does 25 after that. I was like, fuck, 1,000 push-ups. He's trying to do 2,000 push-ups a day.
So if you break it down, because it's funny as you mentioned 1,000, I was saying. Yeah, no, if you break it down, so I was thinking, okay, if I did 100 push-ups a day, that's 3,000 push-ups a month. You feel me?
Shit.
Yeah. So once you start to do the accumulation, once you start to do the accumulation of the math, it's like, okay, this is fucking doable. So 50 in the morning, 50 in the afternoon. So that's literally my goal. So after I break out of these 10 days, then I'll start tracking in the thousands. Because once you start tracking in the thousands, you're really tracking the months, so you're tricking yourself. Anyways, I don't want to, jump too deep down the whole health thing because you do fail.
But I think it's important right now because everyone's fucking stuck at home.
You're at home. Like I said,
there's 2 things we can do at home right now. We can either fucking eat our fucking ass out, or
pause,
or get your ass and do some fucking calisthenics and do that PT
and it
shit.
Doesn't take much. Like literally, I feel like at my best flexibility when I just do stretching. Like we stretch at work. We do random stretches at work. But it's like a 5-minute stretch every day. And each time I engage my core, I try to keep my balance. We're not doing anything crazy. But what I'm doing is I'm just trying to like stretch out, get a little bit, out of that whole pent up energy type of vibe.
Yeah, that's
great.
And
it helps, taking stairs 2 at a time, a little bit more energy, so it's good.
I know when I used to run, I didn't used to jog. I used to fucking run like miles.
Right.
And this wasn't too long ago. I mean, I did this, and then I got into my bike. But
yeah, you look like a runner.
Dude,
you know
I used to run cross country in high school, and for practice we used to run 15 miles a day. Yeah, it's crazy. For practice, and the races were only 10 miles.
Yeah, that's good though.
Yeah, so we ran 15 miles a day. I think we had one meet like every other week.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I carried a little bit, but then I got older, and then I kind of was like, okay, let me see what I can do. So I started doing it again, and I think the biggest thing were the shoes I was wearing.
Yeah, no, it's all about the shoes.
So I was like, I gotta find what shoes are.
What was your favorite running shoes?
You know what? I have a pair of. They're actually a remake of an old '70s shoe.
Okay.
They're somewhere here, but
who makes it?
Nike.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nike makes
they look like old school.
Okay.
Like 1981 running shoes.
Yeah.
Those are so comfortable. Like it's got that big fat heel.
Okay.
Because I have problems with my heels.
Right.
But once I got in the groove and I started going, like, okay, I was like, oh, this is like the first mile, second mile. I don't know how long it was. But then I got in the car one day. I was like, oh shit, this is actually 2 miles up and 2 miles back. I was like, damn, okay, cool. And then now I was like, you know what? Let me just buy a bike.
Oh yeah. Let me just save your shins.
Yeah. But it is very hard on the knees when you run on cement.
Yeah. No, after my surgery, because I had the patellar tendon snapped or whatever. After my surgery, I was afraid to run for like 8 months, dude. And then I got comfortable to the point where I was like, all right, excuse me. All right, that was the week. I was like, all right, well, let me try. Let me go full speed. I went like 110%. And I stopped because I was afraid of how fast I was going. I was like, oh shit, something. But when I stopped with my leg extended. Fucked up my hip and all that shit for like a good month or whatever. So like when you're running, like the shoes are extremely important.
Yeah.
The dopest ones I found so far are the 270s. Nike 270s are sick.
Yeah, those are.
A little air bubble in the back, perfect.
Yeah. Shoes make all the difference, man. And it's hard for me to like. I gotta have a shoe for each activity. Like if I'm gonna run, I gotta find a good running shoe.
Right.
Even if I'm on the bike, I gotta find some shoes that make my feet feel comfortable. Even around the house.
Even just lounging.
Yeah, around the house, or if you want to go to the store. Like it's all important. You're gonna go to the baseball game, like you want to.
Yeah, you need something comfortable.
Super comfortable.
Yeah, no,
I'm all about comfort. I mean, I like to floss a little bit now.
I'm a little bit too much about comfort.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I'm comfort over style, 100%.
What about like you wear Chucks, don't you?
I have one pair of Chucks that I've had for 7 years. But I love them.
Right.
I just don't like buying a lot of them because they can become addictive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they don't go with everything.
Yeah.
Then I end up wearing the same type of outfit, so I gotta switch it up with the shoes because I have this phobia about how my pants meet my shoes.
Same here.
You know what I mean? Like if my
That's
pants
why I asked
don't
about
meet
that.
if my pants don't meet my shoes properly, I'm switching shoes. Then I gotta switch the outfit. It's like I'm picky with that.
And probably another thing that you deal with that I deal with is that like how our shoes meet our pants is. We have big feet. Yeah. And so it looks kind of goofy. Like if
it looks hella goofy.
Like if you're wearing Chucks with some jeans, it's
you can't wear boot cut jeans with Chucks. You know what I mean? For real.
You can't be wearing some Nickelback shit these days, bro.
But no, I have to. But okay, there's a reason why I bring up the boot cut because if I'm wearing Jordans, I gotta wear like a boot cut jean.
Really?
Yeah, because my Jordans are fat. You dig? So I can't wear like skinny jeans with them, or else it just highlights the foot too much. Unless you got on a certain pair of Jordans. Yeah. Then it's okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? Joggers came out. Yeah. Those became popular. So then you can wear those with the J's. But then they got to be the right type of J's. Yeah. You know what I mean? You can't wear like the sixes, I feel. True. With the joggers, but you can wear the 11s. You feel me? True. So, or the Air Force, the ones. So, I don't know.
No, I get that.
That's like, a whole different thing.
With the joggers, like I wear like a lot of joggers. Like, probably I don't know 5. Well, now it's like fucking every day, but I don't even think I'm gonna wear jeans again, to be honest. But the joggers, like any shoe basically will work, except for Chucks. I haven't worn Chucks with joggers.
Yeah, no, it's
a little stretch.
It works, but you got to be going to the right place. Like I got a pair of army joggers that I'll wear with my Chucks, but that's the only outfit I'll wear that with that. So yeah, we're going down a whole route.
No, that's cool, man. I mean, I need to get this. I have nobody to talk to. Bro.
I know. I'm sitting at
Especially
home.
about this shit.
I got a toddler and I got my wife, and she's TikTok crazy right now. So.
Oh, she watches TikTok.
She watches. She's not joining yet.
Yeah.
I'm trying to push her to join.
Really?
Because she's mad talented, but
she is.
She's a perfectionist. You know what I mean? So
that kind of hurts because
I'm like, just throw it out there.
That's like me. Like if something's not fucked, if it doesn't look right, then I'm like, you know what, fuck this.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna do it. I don't want anybody to see.
And me, I'm overconfident, so I'll throw out anything and be like, that's fucking gold.
I don't like anybody to see my flaws. You know what I mean? Even though I mean, anyways, I have a million of them, but I'm just kind of like,
flaws make you human.
More self-conscious. About the TikTok shit though.
Yeah. Dude, I've seen some funny shit out there.
But besides that, hold on. Let me go back.
Does this have to do with China?
Oh yeah. So TikTok, I mean, everybody. This is like crack right now for all these people who are at home. Like, even like the little kids, fucking grandmas, grandpas, doing all kinds of shit, which is really, really funny. I'm not gonna do that shit. I don't.
But break down the. Okay, so break down.
You'll see me on OnlyFans. OnlyFans before you see me on TikTok.
Bro, if I get start an OnlyFans page right now, the wife have to just be okay with it.
I'm saying.
Bro, they're making a lot of money on the OnlyFans page right now.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
Have you seen them virtual strip clubs on Instagram Live?
I have.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
I remember, I think it was like, I don't know, maybe like last week, some dude, because there's this bunch of chats in the fucking DMs, like with a bunch of meme guys.
Yeah.
And so
they're probably spreading all kinds of crazy.
It's crazy. There's like 3 of them that I'm in. It's like these guys just go crazy. And so he sent a link, and I opened it. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" All I saw was a water bottle, a wine glass. No, there was like a wine glass, a water bottle on the table. And I guess that's if you see that scene, that means there's gonna be some.
It's about to go down.
Yeah.
It could be an empty room, but you wait because
there's a wine glass there with wine in it, and there's like 3 water bottles.
Right now.
And I was like, "What the fuck is this? What am I watching?" And I was like, "Oh!" Like 5 minutes in, I was like, "Oh god!" I was like,
or if you see one of those novelty giant gummy worms.
What the? The fucking double headers.
Yeah, the double headers. Yeah, they get used from both sides.
Fuck. I was like,
so if you see one of those, like, right.
No, I'm good. So, but fuck that. TikTok.
But social media is so fucking entertaining right now because we're not bombarded by weak ass pictures of boob jobs and new makeup and makeup. Like, okay, women are beautiful, but in my eyes, they're more beautiful when they don't wear makeup.
Really?
You feel me? Like, I'm not a huge makeup person.
Yeah.
I wear a lot of black.
Yeah. Me too.
So it's just never. Plus, like, I appreciate like a woman's natural beauty. You know what I mean? So if like I could be attracted to you with no makeup, with your eyebrows not done, like that's okay. Like you're gonna spend more time with them looking like that than you do with them looking like fully done up or anything. But makeup's cool. It enhances what you already have.
Yeah.
You gotta have me personally.
You gotta have a good base. I mean, like listen, like for me. I don't wear makeup. I have a good base. So just imagine if I put some mascara on.
Exactly.
Killing it.
Yeah, to all you men out there wearing makeup, it's unnecessary.
Oh,
just,
really?
It's unnecessary, man. It's really sad.
What do you think about dudes with makeup?
You'd be surprised what dudes, like, especially older men.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Older men?
Yeah, older men, dude.
What?
Like, I've seen it. I've seen it at my job. I've seen it, like, they wear makeup, And,
at your job?
Yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of alternative lifestyle type men that work, at my job, and you notice they look different from day to day, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like it's a thing apparently. Anyways,
this shit is really good, dude. I'm gonna have to get down on this.
I'm telling you, this in general, this cherry limeade, it's like a New York thing. It's Brooklyn original.
It's Arizona iced tea.
Yeah, Arizona iced tea, Brooklyn
cherry.
It's called Ricky. Whatever the fuck that one. I don't know where that came from.
It's like Boys in the Hood shit.
But you know what? Lately, I'm adjusting to this whole quarantine thing because honestly, unfortunately for a lot of people, their whole lives are
stuck in quarantine.
Their whole lives are flipped upside down. But not a lot in my life has changed. I'm still going to work 5 days a week. I'm not dealing with as many customers, which is like a dream come true. I'm doing mostly everything online, through like virtual reality type tours and shit like that.
Very nice.
But a lot of people's lives are flipped upside down, and it bugs me to see that they're on another stress level than I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel it when they call in and they're like, "Hey, there's someone outside my door," and I'm like, "Yeah, this is a free country. They can walk, anywhere they want." But like, you can hear the stress in their voice from being locked up. And I also think that a lot of people are stressed because of the, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like everyone's asking when this is going to end, what's the purpose. So it's
well, you don't know you don't know what's going to happen to anything. Like you can get sick.
Exactly.
You can still die in a car crash.
Exactly.
If you go to the store and you have anxiety at the store.
Exactly.
If someone gives you some shit at the store, or there's someone fucking going crazy, like it's just a weird time.
And I think you and me kind of have that same outlook on life as far as like anything can go down. You feel me? Anything can happen. So we're always not naive and solidified in one specific way of looking at things, So like when this hit, I was like, fuck, I've been preparing for this for the last 15 years, you know what I mean? Like I've been talking to the wife, the friends, they all thought I was crazy. I'm not a prepper. Yeah. But like I used to always tell them that like nothing stays the same forever. Like anything can happen. We have an earthquake. We can go through a disaster like in Louisiana. Like this shit is real. Look at where's Fat Joe from? The island. No, the island that they were flying back and forth. They had the huge earthquake.
Oh, Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Yeah, look at Puerto Rico. Their whole way of living changed, but like the Marines, you adapt and you survive. Yeah. So if you take on that mindset, psychologically it doesn't affect you as much. But I've been noticing a lot of inconsistencies with how we're reacting based on what's happening. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, in my mind, I always pictured us being in a position where we're staying at home. Military may be called out. All restaurants and stores are closing. Like I always pictured it as bombs being dropped. You know what I mean? Yeah. And only people moving around are like able-bodied men that are willing to protect and serve and join the military. Like this is how I visualize what's going on right now. Yeah. It doesn't make sense that we're going to these extremes. Yeah. Just to keep everyone safe. Like you could disinfect like entire cities like they're doing in other places. Yeah. Like, same way we have street sweepers come by, you can like spray disinfectant. It's not like
or poison.
Our poisons. They do that anyway.
I'm just saying. Go ahead.
Why stop it?
Let me fix this shit.
So like it makes me uneasy with like how okay people are with just accepting every single thing that's like anybody that tells them anything is like, hey, you want to do this, and they're like, oh, we got to do this, we got to follow this. Yeah. It's like, it doesn't make sense. At one point, you got to use your common sense. Like,
I don't think.
How do you feel about it?
The common sense isn't common, bro. Especially like you can see the dummies at this time. Yeah. And it's not even being dumb. I think you can call them ignorant.
Yeah, they don't think for themselves. Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, and it's so stupid because sometimes, like today, I went to the store, which I've been dreading. So in the past month, I think I went 4 times. Right. Which, fuck, man, every time it's like a fucking anxiety ball. Yeah. And it's like, oh my god, here we go again. So the second to last time I went to the store, I actually went to the 99-cent store. Smart. I was like, let me go see what's over there. I need some odds and ends, not necessarily food or anything, but I said, I think they have some stuff that I need there, so let me go check it out. So I walked up to the door, and the lady was like, hey, you need a mask to come in here. And I was like, oh, here we go. I was like, okay, fucking. And I got pissed for about 5 minutes. I was like, fuck this piece of shit, Chinese commie shit. Like, I was like, man, what the fuck? Now we're just fucking China. Now we're China. Yeah, basically. So I mean, that's what I feel. I feel that, like, they want us to be just like China, dude.
I mean, I feel you. The government has full control. You have to obey. There's restricted hours. There's restaurants and stores you can't come. Like, no, I feel you. Like, we're leaning towards that in a real way, and it's fucked up.
But on the same coin, on the same side, it's like, we have fucking rights, man. We have a Bill of Rights. You know what I mean?
For right now.
How do you think it's taken away though?
Okay, so I'm starting to notice how the laws work based on a given situation. So all these laws he's able to implement in order to get companies that are privately owned to do and make what the country needs is showing me that no one's above the law. Nothing's above the law. None of your rights are actually, non-negotiable. You feel me? Like, you don't have a right. There's no right that you have that is a non-negotiable. You feel me? The government can come in at any moment, take your property, take your money, seize your family.
You think so?
Yeah. Like,
really?
There's a situation that is, even if it's like investigation that turns out to be, in favor of you, they get to keep that item just because it was part of an investigation. You feel me?
Yeah.
If they want their property because they're building, telephone line or something like that, there's a law for that where they could just take your property. If the government needs it, they can take your property. I just looked this up too.
Yeah.
It's they did it at a dealership that I was at. They took a large chunk of their property because it straddled the freeway, and they just took that shit.
Raceway?
Yeah, Raceway. Yeah, they took that shit. Dude.
I remember that.
They offered them a fair market value. I think 10% over.
They went right through it.
Right through it, dude.
Yeah.
We lost like half of our commercial lot.
I remember that.
So yeah, man, there's a law that takes away all your freedoms based on the right scenario.
See, here's the tough part. So what I'm struggling with is this, and they really have
eminent domain. That's what it's called.
There we go.
Yeah.
I've kind of struggled with this a bit because of like the mask thing, but they haven't really enforced it. Like I haven't been wearing a mask. I'm not around anybody,
right?
But they say, it's basically the Facebook police.
Yeah, basically.
Who are saying, hey,
bunch of Karens.
Exactly. Say, stay at home, which is fine. I get it, but there's always two sides to that story. There's two sides to being told what to do and knowing exactly what you can do. Like your parents can discipline you.
Yeah.
But they shouldn't beat your ass to a bloody pulp.
Right. Because that's beyond discipline.
Just do it because they say, well, I'm his parents.
Right.
It's the same thing with the government. Like they can't just say, hey, you know what? We have to come inside your house because we're the government.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
And I don't believe the one that if we lose, like it's gonna be fucking over. It'll be the amendment number 1.
Right.
Freedom of speech. Pretty soon. I mean, I don't want to say that it's happening, but who knows? I mean, maybe they can. I don't know how they're gonna change it.
Right.
The only way they can change it if they really have to lock us up,
right.
And they'll have to have curfews and that kind of thing. But I don't really think it's gonna go there yet.
No.
Just because it's kind of as you saw, some of the governors have been open to talks with opening small businesses.
Right.
Starting at the small business level.
Right.
And then working their way up to.
I find that to be a slippery slope because I don't know. So right now, the Florida governor is my favorite person to follow because he just you could tell his mindset is I don't give a what the president says.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to. He what did he do? He was allowing churches to gather.
Yeah.
He didn't close the beaches.
Yeah.
Florida has always notoriously been a corrupt state.
Florida's crazy.
Yeah,
bro.
Florida is a different type of vibe. You feel me? So I expect them to do everything different. You feel me?
Yeah.
But the way that they're approaching it and the numbers that they're getting as far as infected don't even surpass New York. And New York's pretty much on full lockdown. You can go to Times Square, it's completely empty. But they're also the most aggressive as far as keeping people following rules.
Let me tell you what I thought about that. And it's maybe it'll make sense. So Florida's okay. New York is real dense.
Right.
Real cold.
Yeah.
Even during the summer.
Yeah.
If you're there in the summer and you walk through fucking Chinatown and it's like 4 p.m., like the buildings are gonna cover and the sun goes away. Now it's back to 60 degrees.
Exactly.
From fucking 100. It's that drastic.
It's not a lot of circulation going on.
No. And then in Florida, it's like mostly sunny. Past 70 degrees every day.
Right.
My thought is, I was like, well, virus can't live really in that in the open like that.
Right.
In that kind of temperature, in that climate. But in New York, fuck yeah, it can. Yeah. Especially,
it's like a perfect. Oh, this porridge is perfect. You feel me?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's one of those. Yeah. No, that's a good point. That's a good point. Because if you look at all the places across, it's just the thing. Okay, the one thing that really irks me. If you look at all the places across the world, someone on Instagram pointed this out, and I thought it was like one of the most significant things. They were pointing out that in China, Wuhan had a huge amount of infections, right? People are people. There's no superhumans. There's no people that are more, affected than others, other than like in Italy, because it has a large, older population.
And they all live together.
Exactly, and they all live together. They just got a whole, distancing thing that's closer than any other, other than like Saudi Arabia, where they like hug and kiss on men and all that other shit, right?
Awesome.
So like exactly, but like certain cultures, I think America has the most distance between us when we contact another person.
In California, definitely.
Exactly, especially in California, but like in other cultures, it's nothing for another guy to come really close, give you a hug, to double kiss on the cheek, whatever. So I get that. But like in Wuhan, there was a huge blow up of population that are part of the population that caught it. But what happened to the cities that were adjacent to it? You know what I mean? Well, Shanghai and all these places.
Well, let me tell you.
Yeah.
And of course.
Why didn't they get those numbers?
This is just a theory, Travis. And Chucky.
Chucky, but not be snitching.
Yeah.
You look like 6'9".
Yeah, it kind of does. He probably got a 5G chip in him right now.
I know, right?
Motherfucker. So
there's no knives around here.
There's probably a knife.
I'm still scarred from Chucky too.
That's him, dude. That's Bride of Chucky.
Bride of Chucky?
Yeah.
No. I meant the military one.
Oh yeah.
Is that 3 or 2?
I think it was 3.
Oh yeah, the military one shook the shit out of me.
You're crazy.
Yeah, the little black kid. I can relate.
That's funny shit.
Chucky was no joke, man.
I love Chucky, man.
Yeah. Shout out to homeboy that jumped on a grenade with the glasses. That was some G shit. I was like, oh shit, I would never do that.
So in Wuhan, this is just my theory, and I've been reading and kind of just keeping tabs. I got like 40 internet tabs open in my brain.
Okay.
So
that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. So sometimes I was like,
Wuhan. Okay.
Sometimes it crashes. But like, let me go over here. So I was like, okay, well, Wuhan, where did they implant and start implanting all the first like wave of like 5G towers? Was Wuhan.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, they made them.
Really?
Yeah, and so they started implementing them there.
Okay.
What happened was, if you remember, and I know most of you saw this because you guys are fucking media whores. If you're listening to us, social media whores.
Right.
You saw maybe back in October, November, December, January, maybe in those months. Do you remember those videos where people were just like in China, in Wuhan, and people were like vomiting blood? And just like collapsing on the floor.
I don't.
And just passing out in Wuhan.
No, I don't remember this.
So what I think happened there is after that 5G radiation lessened the strength of their immune systems.
Okay. I can see that.
And by that time the virus was already out.
Okay.
And so it was just it just attacked them so much that
they were just
they basically were getting fried and they were getting sick. So if you had to cough, like your shit was gonna be ripped up and fucking spewed out like you fucking
were weakest you've ever been before.
Yeah, like you were in baby Chernobyl. And so that's what happened. That's what I think happened back in Wuhan.
Right. That actually makes a lot of sense.
So I mean, you guys can look it up for yourself, but
right, and don't look up Snoops.
Snopes.
Like Snopes, whatever. Don't look up that shit. Like I hate when people say, "Well, let me look it up really quick." Nope, they said it was false. It's like, come on, use your fucking brain.
Okay, yeah. See, okay. So here's the thing. Yeah, if you look up Snopes, you can look up something else like
use the scientific method.
Here's
take the first
5G Wuhan debunked.
Right.
You don't have to go to fucking Snopes.com.
Right, exactly.
But the other thing is, too, don't be a fucking dumbass. Listen, we're all bright individuals for the most part. Seriously. Right. We have a lot of potential. Even me, who's a fucking lazy, undisciplined motherfucker. I think that...
Most educated people are extremely lazy. I'm telling you.
I feel like, anyways, use your fucking critical thinking skills.
Right, exactly.
That's the main thing to remember. Like, hey, let's break this down. Let's not be irrational. And although we are human and we want to react to shit because that's just fucking nature. Like, I get it. Everyone's like me. I'm fucking upset, man. I'm fucking mad. Like,
so, and then also use concrete knowledge. So think about it like this: before you decide something is false, just look up how deadly the chemical Teflon is.
Yeah.
And there's an actual documentary about this on Netflix.
Yeah.
Once it's accepted throughout the whole entire world, it's an acceptable killing agent that people just deal with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like asbestos and all this other shit that came out to be completely horrible for everyone. Lead that was in paint that was perfectly okay.
Yeah.
Like, think about stuff that was acceptable at one time around and amongst a lot of educated people. So it's not like it's totally insane to think that a tower that permits data to be transferred at such a extremely fast rate wouldn't do anything to your cells. It's already been proven that your cell phone alone could cause cancer.
Yeah, do you guys
not like
that?
Picking it up. Like, these are studies that have been a factual thing, but like they make the phones a little bit better so that way it's not
as heavy as signal.
Yeah, emitting so much radiation, but you're still holding radiation around you constantly. Like, you can't put that much power of technology in your hand and think that there's no repercussions of it.
Yeah.
And you can't put out that many towers and not expect it to, affect you. Just because you don't understand how it works doesn't mean that like it doesn't harm you.
Well, let me
it's
break it
definitely
down.
harmful.
Let me give an example. Like, we're electromagnetic beings. Like,
exactly.
Straight up.
Yeah.
That's how we're made.
We're great conductors.
That's how we're made. So if you go back to the Chernobyl thing, let's say that, someone can get radiation, a human, okay, and fucking die.
Right.
But if you have plants and fucking trees, like, they're not electromagnetic beings. Like, rocks are still there. They didn't disintegrate. The buildings are still up.
Exactly.
The water's still there. Water, but I'm talking about inanimate shit.
Right,
like,
right.
It's still there because they're not electromagnetic beings.
Right.
We conduct the shit.
A lot of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
static electricity. You don't want to be standing on a tall building or on a roof when lightning's coming through. There's a reason why electricity is attracted to us. So back to the 5G thing is like, it's not causing the coronavirus.
Right.
Like, let's get that straight. It's not causing it. Those are two different things.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But if you're at a weak point in your health, if you get sick, then you're going to be fucked up by something that's like, advanced or man-made. You got your biological nanotech that they're working on right now. So there's no direct connection to it other than one thing affects the other, which affects the other.
Right. It's just zapping your cells.
Yeah.
It's just like every time we put the phone to our head. It's the same thing every time we turn on the TV, every time we use an electronic device. Like, there's all kinds of stuff that...
it could also have something to do with your diet. Maybe there's a lot of mercury in your system.
Absolutely.
Maybe there's a lot of iron in your system.
Absolutely. And that's the thing about... and I always think about this, too, is like... and it's just kind of set up like that, to be honest. And I think about this too. I was like, okay, well, if you take a look at the inner cities, in comparison to, let's say, Beverly Hills,
right?
What's one thing that they have in the inner cities that they don't have in Beverly Hills?
Freeways, bad weather, smog, old housing. Like, just everything chemical and toxic are in it. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Let me tell you what it is.
Yeah, go for it.
Liquor stores.
Oh, liquor stores. Yeah, for sure. Liquor stores, for sure. And fast food restaurants.
Where do you see a fucking Jack in the Box, a fucking liquor store,
on every
all
corner
in the
hood.
fucking hood?
Yeah.
And all they want to do is just push those guys out, give them fucking shit to eat.
Yeah.
Let them fucking kill themselves. Let nature take its course. Put them over there where they have all the comforts.
Yep. Of killing themselves.
If they want to smoke, we're gonna make it easy. If they want to drink, we're gonna make it easy. If they want to eat cheap ass food and think it's good, we're gonna make it really easy for them to get a weakened immune system and not to live as long.
And that's why blacks, blacks, Mexicans, minorities are dying. There's no secret plan that they had with the coronavirus. Like, black people are dying at misproportionate rates because we've been set up to not be put in the healthiest positions.
Right.
You know, there's jobs that are available in the black community that don't offer the best health care. You know what I mean? There's not even the best hospitals there. We've been trained throughout our whole lives. You know, it's only a couple generations from, you know, when you couldn't even walk into a hospital or, you know, you didn't have health care that was paid for. So, like, you just got to realize who has it stacked against them when a pandemic or a real pandemic, because this one definitely feels planned. When people have, you know, certain things like that can hurt your health, if you aren't already practicing good health, if you aren't already maybe pescatarian or vegetarian or know what a balanced meal is and don't eat as much cheese, dairy, you know, look up Dr. Siba. Like, he goes into some of the most common sense medical practices that you can do for yourself that's just lost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's the only person that's ever beat a Supreme Court case basically claiming that he's cured cancer, AIDS, all these different things, which is illegal to claim because you can't say you have a cure for something unless it's made by a pharmaceutical company.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
So, like, there's things that we've been doing our entire life that could, you know, heal you, literally heal you. You know, your body is organic. You know, what you put in your body should be organic. You don't have to pump yourself full of pills and medication. So, back to the 5G. When you bring something into your body or in your environment that's not a natural thing, don't feel like it's, there's no way that can harm you. Yeah. It's harmful.
I think I think it's natural.
Yeah.
But I think they're magnifying the usage of it.
Exactly.
So I think all those electromagnetic waves and radiation, like, this shit's all natural. I get it. Yeah. I think it really is. Like, but they just use it in a different way, where it can be dangerous. Yeah. So, you know.
But we'll see. We'll start to see mutation pretty soon here. You know?
We're gonna see some Zika kids.
Exactly. I really do believe, like, art imitates life. I say it all the time. Like, we read all these Marvel comics and stuff like that, and we look at, like, what's the movie with Samuel L. Jackson, Glass or whatever? Mr. Glass? Yeah. Like, if you really think about it, like, art imitates life, life imitates art. There's tons of Guinness Book of World Records of people bending still, and, like, it's not too far-fetched to think. You just got to think about it on a realistic point of view.
No, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If a child is born during the pandemic, and then it's raised throughout 5G, their cells may be a little different. You know?
That's true. I mean,
they may be able to, you know, run a 3-2. Who knows?
That's true. Know. It could be the weakest thing ever born, or the best. Some Avengers shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Some Superman shit.
Exactly.
But we're I don't know, man. I don't know what to think right now.
I just don't trust anything.
I don't. Okay, that's exactly
what the fuck is my stimulus check?
Jeez, man.
I don't think we're gonna get it. No, I got people that's already received that.
Really? Good for them.
Good for them.
Good for them. Go.
It's spent already.
Yeah. Fucking weed and booze.
I'm rich.
I'm about to buy this baby cash.
Oh man. So have you heard any other, like, theories or?
Yeah, man. So I had, so last week and the week before, and so, like, you were seeing the numbers, like, this is our projection. All the fucking hospitals are jammed up.
Exactly.
All the beds are taken. All the ventilators, we don't have enough.
Right. We need ventilators. It's like, what?
Yeah, I'm gonna speak on that too. Yeah. But so I was where I live. There's a hospital that's like 2 blocks from here, maybe. Kaiser and Riverside, and I used to, or I was, and I think I'm gonna go there tomorrow too. I used to drive through there after I got home
Right.
and see, just check it
Yeah.
out. And the parking lot was empty.
Yeah.
Maybe one side was full. It was probably because of where the workers parked. All the COVID-19 tents were up. There's
Empty.
nobody in them.
Yeah.
They had two sides. Nobody was there. There wasn't even any police there.
Nothing.
I maybe saw one person lurking around, two people walking around. Outside, no masks.
Yeah.
Just kind of hanging out. Maybe
Yeah.
just doing a
Waiting.
checkup. Yeah.
Ah.
So that's one thing. I was like, okay. And then and then I saw a tweet that I posted. I think it was yesterday. It's like I'm one TikTok dance. I'm one nurse's TikTok dance away from thinking all this shit is fake.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
And I was
Yeah.
like, yo, what the fuck? So
Yeah.
we have all these motherfucking nurses
Making buku money right now. I
and
mean, get your bread.
making TikToks at the same
Yeah.
time. So you guys are telling me that you have all this time
Yeah.
to make TikToks when the fucking hospitals are jammed up
Right.
and there's no fucking help, no fucking respirator. I saw one that these fools didn't even have their masks on. There was
Yeah.
the nurses
Showing.
in a TikTok. They didn't have any masks on. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this is some bullshit. So this is kind of suspect.
Yeah.
It's just that kind of shit that just makes me say, you know what? Now I really don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
Because this shit is moving too fast. Everyone sees everything. Someone will see something from something that you didn't see, or they'll pick up something that I didn't see, and we can kind of come together like we kind of do, and say, hey, I saw this, I heard this, and it's just, it doesn't sit well with me. I think this whole shit, to be honest with you, was just made to crash the economy and get fucking Trump out of office.
Yeah.
And they didn't want him there, and I think that's what this whole shit's about. And they don't give a fuck. They're gonna go to any length to get him out of office. And if it crashes the shit, oh well, they're gonna blame everything on him.
Yeah.
And
I mean, he's already broken every fucking negative record you can have. Highest amount of unemployment. Worst stock market position ever.
it's actually the same
it's
when
crazy.
Obama was in office.
Well, I think he's broken every single record. Yeah. It's funny how at the last year of almost every president, there's always something that goes on. It's extremely, almost devastating to the economy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or to, just life in general. There's a war that's brewing. And I think it's just politics.
It's all politics and business.
Back to the nursing thing. I 1000% agree that some fishy shit is going on. And because you're seeing too many stories of doctors blowing a whistle. Saying that, hey, we were directed to say that this is a COVID-19, death.
Well, they admitted to changing the death certificates.
Exactly.
If you come in with a heart murmur and your fucking heart pops,
Right.
and you had the antibodies,
Right.
And you were already well from that shit, like
COVID-19 strikes again.
Yeah, coronavirus. He died of coronavirus.
The worst one was the young baby. So a doctor sent a video. And he said there was a young baby that died at like 24 weeks. This is right when you find out like the sex of a child or something. But it was born premature, and that baby was advertised as to have died from COVID-19. That's like every woman that wants to. Women have this natural protective instinct. Any woman that reads that, she no longer thinks logical. It's protection mode.
Right.
Okay, this shit is for real. My child that isn't even here.
Yeah.
I'm not even pregnant.
Yeah.
I have to go into believing this because that's like how my DNA is structured. You feel me? Like this is a survival. This is a information that could help me and my potential future child survive.
Right.
Like they're manipulating people on a level that's like unfair. He also pointed out that the way that they're curing this is with simple nutrients, the whole zinc and the tonic water, and like they're not prescribing anything that's like you can't just find out in the open. You feel me? So like that's
C.
another
Vitamin D.
Another red flag. It's like, oh here, take this energy or what's that little packet or whatever.
Yeah, Z-Pack.
So that's another one. But the biggest one that I've heard was the connection between the economy and using this to blame the crash that was going to happen anyway.
Yeah, so
you know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing. It's like three. It's a three-part question, and I'm going to read it because it says, "Why would you think the hospitals, the medical establishment, and the coronavirus task force has exaggerated the death figures. Number one, was it to enhance their authority and importance? Number two, was it to increase their funding? Number three, to prove retroactively how amazing they are when they inflated numbers, and when the inflated numbers drop drastically. And that,
I think it's a little bit of all three, but more of one. You feel me? I think I mentioned this before.
It's definitely a power grab.
Exactly. It's a power grab. It's like, hey, we want to protect you. You've seen what we've done to protect you before. We paid you guys checks so that way when you weren't working, you paid your bills, you didn't have to pay your rent. So it's like, getting someone on your side. But we've already lost so many rights and privileges when 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
And 20 years later or whatever, like we're unaware of how much we've lost because we grew up in that environment.
And so we got programmed to say, okay, every time we go to the airport, be like, oh fuck, I'm probably gonna have to take my shoes off.
Yeah, that never happened before. And there's no bombs that happen or went off. Why is that still a thing?
Yeah.
You feel me? Why do we have to go through these scanners? What are they actually scanning? You know what I mean? Like it's in place for a reason.
Well, they're invading your privacy now. I mean, with the scanners and shit, they can see your titties and
they can see your phone,
your fucking dick.
So weird thing happened to me. I don't even think I told you, but you know the website I sent you guys, right?
Pornhub?
No, that was Thursday. The one on Tuesday.
Pornhub too.
No, with the information from the government website.
Yeah.
Okay, so the weirdest thing happened to me. I was on my phone, bro. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
So remember the old tube TVs?
Yeah.
When you would turn them off after them being on for a long time, it would flash and make that little weird noise, right? So I'm sitting on my couch in the living room. I don't even have my phone. Well, I'm not even using my phone.
Yeah.
It's just on my chest.
Yeah.
You feel me? I was using it earlier. I'm watching the show. I'm multitasking.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, my phone flashes, and I hear that boop sound come from my phone. I'm not fucking joking you, bro. This shit, and it was literally a couple hours after I sent that website to you. You feel me? It was almost like, oh, okay. And that's what I'm talking about. The rights that we have. There's something probably in the new laws that they wrote that says, hey, if a person goes here or requests this, we now have the right to go and make sure that this person's on the up and up and have full access to their phone.
Of course.
TikTok. Okay?
Zoom.
I was watching a movie called Molly's Game, right, with Idris Elba or whatever, and he was explaining to the chick in the movie.
He had coronavirus.
He had coronavirus. Exactly. I haven't heard from him since. I don't know.
You're great.
So anyways, he explained something that I knew, computer forensics, right?
Yeah.
So whenever you plug your phone into any computer, the computer instantly downloads every bit of data from your phone.
Yeah.
Matter to know how long you have it connected, but
look how fast it acts or it asks all this shit when you plug it into your computer.
Exactly. Do you give this computer access to your phone? So now you unplug that phone, right?
Yeah.
Your entire phone is stored on that computer.
Yeah.
They can retrieve every picture, every text message, everything.
Yeah.
TikTok.
And the cache. Yeah.
For the people that are using it, not saying that like literally 50% of the websites you've already downloaded, like someone already has all your data.
Facebook.
Most likely Facebook. But they not only have the basic information to your phone, they have all the information to your phone.
Down to the keystrokes.
Your notes, your keystrokes, your passwords, your pictures, your tracking, everything.
Delete that shit.
Exactly. So, I mean, just to keep it real, we're not going to give up our iPhones. We're not going to stop downloading apps. We're not going to be.
They want you to have a phone.
Exactly. They want you to have a phone, but your phone has most of your information that you have ever collected in your life.
Yeah.
Like everything. Yeah. You don't physically own anything that has more information in your phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like before, you would save a picture, get it, print it. You would have tangible items that only you had.
Right.
But now your entire life is most likely on your phone. Your expenses, your financials, your loves, your side chicks, your whatever it is.
It's all
on your phone.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like that's what I mean as far as the first phase of the rights you've given up. So now that they know where you've been, where you're going, where your desires, where you shop, what your habits are, literally what your habits. When you jump in your car, you have an iPhone and your car has a display. Where does your iPhone recommend that you go? Where you always go on Tuesdays. Where you always go on Wednesdays. Where you always stop off before work. Oh, Starbucks, 2.4 miles away.
McDonald's.
Oh, Winter Schnitzel's, McDonald's, 5 miles away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your phone knows more about you than what you can visually conceive.
It connects to all those cell sites.
Now think about it on a quantum level.
Yeah.
As far as like when 5G is implemented.
Yeah.
They
Real
now
time.
can predict
Real time.
what you're going to do in the next 6 months. They can probably almost by 70% predict where you're going to be May 30th, 2021.
Yeah.
You feel me? They can almost predict it,
Mhm.
almost to a T.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what we lost as far as rights as far as the first phase. The second phase, now that they're implementing more nanotechnology and biological rights, they now are implementing, ways to take control of your body. You feel me? So once this is all done, after they've pumped up phase 2 of, this virus could come back, now they need control of your physical being.
Well, that's right now with the even 4G. They can track your location. Of course, 5G is going to be in real time with your device.
Right.
Nanotechnology, if they implant something in you, that's going to be real time on your person.
Oh yeah.
And so I think that's going to work in conjunction with all the satellites that Elon Musk is putting up. Come 6G, everything's going to be connected at lightning fast speeds.
But they need the 5G just to implement the tracking.
Yeah.
And this is why.
It's the real time.
So the president slipped up on one of his announcements when he killed that guy in
Epstein?
Not Epstein. That was Hillary.
It was the Clintons.
Exactly. No, but like the guy who died that we were talking about, they had the bombing and the country went crazy. They were going to attack us for it. The 20 missiles.
20 missiles? Who's this?
Yeah, this is Iraq or someone.
Saddam Hussein?
Not Saddam. This was recently, this year.
Osama bin Laden?
No, man.
Matthew McConaughey?
The war hero. I don't know his name. Anyways, my point is
the guy from the Sniper movie.
Stupid. No, the guy recently got the drone strike on him, and he died. And they tried to return, and then they struck the plane. They shot down a plane, trying to attack us.
Flight 375. No. Malaysia 370.
No. Broken Arrow, fool. No. So, anyways,
love that movie.
So I say all that to say this is President Trump mentioned.
Who got droned though?
I forget his name. Started with the A. He was like some war hero. The GOAT. He was like he was a war hero for like 20 years.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no, that's how quickly we're trained to forget.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's some shit going on in Venezuela right now. No one even talks about it.
Dude, okay.
Yeah.
If we don't fucking wake up,
which is huge.
If we don't fucking wake up and do some shit, we're gonna be fucking Venezuela.
We're already Venezuela.
With the fucking bodies in the street, the fucking dollar's gonna be worth.
We've been broke rich for about 7 years right now.
I think it's been
when our credit rating dropped to like a B.
I think it's been since the 60s. We've been broke since the 60s, fool.
True.
Damn,
technically since 1913. But
there you go.
Yeah, that's when we were first broke rich. We've been able to
very true.
Make it look like we weren't because we got military status. You know what I mean? Like we were like Biggie, sewing tigers on his shirts.
Yeah.
But you can't ask him about it.
Yeah.
Because it would smack the shit out of you. Like what the fuck you mean? Are we broke? No, we're not broke. We're America. You see this missile over here? Yeah, we're good.
Exactly.
Do you have a problem?
Yeah.
Anyways, he slipped up and said something. There was a way that they were able to 100% know that was the guy they wanted, not through on the ground, recon, none of that shit. They said that there was a way that each person's body signature was different. And I thought about that for a long time when he was saying it. Basically, how can you say that your body signature is different from another person's body signature? Your DNA, your heartbeat, your level of health and where it is will only be significant to you. So how you breathe, your heartbeat, exactly, even you have a twin. So when they do implement this vaccine, I was thinking, how is it going to track us? Like, how are you going to track someone? Even if you implement a chip, like, how's it going to track us?
Yeah.
They know your blood pressure. Yep. They know your heartbeat.
Yep.
They know that alone is so significant to you. They know your breathing pattern. They can tell how old you are based on it.
Yeah. So
it gathers so much information. They already have that technology based on Apple and the Apple Watch. All you guys that have Apple Watches, it's telling you every 5 minutes, please breathe or whatever. they're reading all your body signals. They're sending all that data to the government.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like these Apple, not Apple, but Amazon Alexas and shit like that. They know your conversation. They don't need to know what you're saying. They just need to know who you are by your voice.
Mm-hmm.
Your voice alone is unique.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like that has vibrations where they literally can. You've seen it in movies since the 80s. They can match your voice with another frequency.
Yeah.
So given all these things, they can without a doubt up to like 99% say, okay, let's check New Zealand. Boom, there's Travis Skinner right there. You feel me? And now they can track you.
Yeah.
But when they implement these vaccines, this isn't the end all be all of tracking. This is just
the beginning.
2.1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Apple sends an update every fucking 2 months.
Yeah.
You feel me? Why do they update so much?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They need new data. They need to revise. They need to figure out
how to get your permission without asking again.
Think about what your phone is doing. Like you only need your phone for phone calls, texting, and your everyday business.
Memes.
Yeah, and for memes and entertainment. But like it's the
I'm
real
gonna have to start
money.
drawing memes, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
I fuck this bullshit.
Yeah, but the real value in any kind of electronic device, in any kind of business, the real value is information.
Yeah.
Car business, information. Restaurants, information. Bakeries, information. You know, like you sell your bakery, but you don't give them your client list. That bakery is worthless. You feel me? So you need the information.
Very true.
So I don't know, like. Once we get to the point where the vaccines start to get implemented, and it's going to get to the point where they're going to figure out how to, they can either sneak into it, and like you don't know.
Well,
like,
they're not going to be able to sneak into it. They're going to. It's going to be. We're going to hit a crossroads and be like, hey, listen. Either you're going to need to get the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be people who have jobs who are on a payroll through a company, who have a taxpayer ID, that kind of shit. And be like, okay, you know what? If you want to keep your business license, you're gonna need all your employees, just like they do now. Like you're gonna have to have insurance for your company, or you can't fucking operate.
Yeah.
So under your insurance is gonna fall these things. If they don't have this, it's just like when.
Have you been vaccinated? They already did it in school.
That's what I'm saying.
You can go to you can't.
That's what I mean.
You can't enroll your child into school unless they prove that they've had their shots.
It's gonna be the same formula.
Right.
And it's going to be that kind of thing, and it's going to be like, hey, either you want it or you don't. You're going to have a job or you're not.
Exactly.
And then it's going to probably get to where like, hey, well, let's see, why are you coming to LA County?
Yeah.
It says you live in Riverside.
Yeah.
Where's your?
What's the safest way to start back an economy when there's a pandemic going on? Oh, okay, let's let 3,000 workers go back into this warehouse. Wait a minute, shouldn't we regulate it somehow and make sure that they're not sick?
Yeah.
What's the best way to do that?
Yep.
Maybe we should vaccinate them.
Yeah.
So that way we know that they won't get sick.
Yeah.
And maybe we won't allow them to come back to work until they're vaccinated.
We're going to give them exactly what we want them to have.
Exactly.
And then we can give them a card and say, hey, you're okay. You're okay. You're okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who doesn't have this immunity card can go fucking kick rocks.
Exactly.
Go stand in line for some fucking free bread, and these guys will work, and that's it. That's how we're gonna. That's how it's gonna be fucking two classes.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the ones who don't fucking want to take the shit.
Yeah.
Which is gonna be me, and I'm gonna be fighting tooth and nail for that bullshit because I'm not about it.
Yeah.
And then the other people who just say, hey, you know what? This is what they're telling us. I guess we better do it. Like, okay, I get it. You guys are fucking. You just follow the trends and do whatever that makes you feel good, but it doesn't make me feel good. Anyway.
No. I'm not a Muslim at all, but I follow a guy who is. And his name is Reza Islam, and he has a dope. No. I think they're brothers though, cousins at least. No, but he has a dope perspective and a way of delivering truth that's just boom, take it or leave it. You feel me?
Yeah.
And he mentioned that Dr. Fauci or whatever is always with President Trump or whatever.
Dr. Fauci Fauci.
He mentioned that he's promoting these vaccines, like, oh, we gotta wait for the vaccine, as if Bill Gates is some kind of like medical genius.
That motherfucker didn't. He doesn't even have a bachelor's degree.
Exactly. Yeah, didn't he drop out of college or something? I mean, I know you made a lot of money, but so did like fucking Pablo Escobar.
I get it.
It doesn't give him some fuck. Yeah. So he mentioned that Fauci is mentioning all these vaccines and promoting them, kind of like setting up the country for it. But why isn't he mentioning the basic things you can do to promote better health? Stop eating dairy. You feel me? Take your
so
vitamin
fucking
C.
true, man.
Take vitamin D. Like,
Have you heard any of them say, "Hey,
none of them.
listen, you guys, while you're at it, try and get some sun in your backyard."
Stop, exactly. Please stop frying up 12 pieces of bacon every morning. You know what I mean? Like, stop smoking.
It's keto, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like they're not promoting basic knowledge to keep you healthy, which is strange. Yeah. Like you should have a president up there saying, "Hey, I know you guys followed the food pyramid when you were younger, but that shit has since been proven to be wrong. Dairy should not be at the top. Like, you don't need dairy. You need, fruits, vegetables, vitamins, exercise, proteins, small
Snickers.
Portions of Snickers,
Flamin'
for
Hot
sure.
Cheetos.
Flamin' Hot Cheetos. All that shit.
Vodka.
You need that shit. Yeah.
No, that's fucking true, man. No one has
those
said
are basic
anything about
things. So I just don't get it.
Take your vitamins.
Because everything's a business. You know what I mean? Like, you can't say something against one business because it's all fucked up. So just, for the people out there, like, coronavirus is a real thing.
Real as
it's
fuck.
Not what you think it is.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Another thing. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, this is because
I
I forgot about this. The one doctor that I saw the video that he leaked some information. Pointed out, the video. He pointed out something that was fascinating. He said that the testing kits for coronavirus are the most fugazi thing
for sure
that he has ever heard of. One, they only test for coronavirus strains.
You know what a coronavirus is? It's just a cold.
There's hundreds of coronaviruses.
It's just a cold.
When they test for this COVID-19 coronavirus, they're not testing for COVID-19. Yeah. They're testing for coronavirus strains.
Everybody has antibodies.
So everyone has coronavirus in them at one point.
It's a fucking cold.
Yeah, exactly. So if you test 100 people, maybe 20 of them actually have COVID-19. But all 100, if they have any coronavirus, I forget the word he used, but strains in them. Yeah, mutations. They're going to come back coronavirus.
The COVID-19 is just another mutation of a coronavirus. Coronavirus, listen, I'm not a medical doctor, although I play one on TV. It's just another fucking cold, another fucking strain. Exactly. It's a mutated strain of a fucking cold.
Exactly.
Why do you think they haven't had a fucking cure for the fucking common cold? Because it always changes, it always mutates.
It's always switching up.
And this is just another mutation of that motherfucker. So
he brought that up, and I was like, holy shit. So they're testing people for coronavirus, and listen to the words they use. Coronavirus. They're testing you for coronavirus. There's hundreds of coronaviruses out there. They never said they were testing you for COVID-19, but yet all these little things that are coming back is COVID-19. Yeah. So think about it. Mm-hmm. So you have 200,000 people infected with COVID-19 or coronavirus. There is a good chance, a very good chance that 150 of those 200,000 people have a different type of coronavirus. Yeah. The basic cold. Yeah. Those are the people that are probably recovering from drinking orange juice and getting rest.
Me.
You feel me? Exactly. So now you have this instant fear that you can build because now you have people thinking that, oh shit, all the coronaviruses that were around before COVID-19 are retired. So I must have COVID-19. Yep. You feel me? Yep. I must be at risk to be one of the 1% that is going to die. You get what I'm saying? So now you're putting so much value on human life. Now you instantly are the good guy. You feel me? Because you're putting so much value on human life. But people are dying from car accidents at a higher rate than, what's going on within the month that's, people are catching it. So people are dying, but there's a reason why the hospitals are not flooded.
Well, there's one thing that everybody has to remember too, and I remember because it's in the Bible. It says my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Yes. So you just have to remember, hey, listen, educate yourself as little as it may be. Mm-hmm. Read something, do your critical thinking. Right. Think about your basic needs. Think about your structure of your body. Right. Think about all the things that you learned in elementary school, what your fucking teacher told you, your mom, eat your vegetables, take your vitamins, don't smoke, don't drink, don't be in excess, like everything in moderation.
And go by old rules. Yeah. Don't go by new rules. Go by old rules. Now that we're all at home and we all have backyards, or go back to basic human principles. Where does food come from?
Right.
You grow food. Food. You feel me? Food doesn't come from Jack in the Box. Doesn't come from the grocery store.
Hey man, they sell egg rolls there, bro.
They do.
Egg
They
rolls
do.
around.
But like, you know, like really go back to the basics. You feel me?
Yep.
Where does water? How do you filter water?
Yeah.
The important stuff. Like really go down to the basics, because if something pops off and we all need to survive, that's where we're gonna go anyway. So why not start there right now?
Yeah.
You know, use your own brain. Start to really think what makes sense and what doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
you
true.
feel me?
Yeah, and I had this discussion with my mom and her husband. Last time I saw her, and he was like, "Hey, how much water do you have?" I was like, "I don't know."
It rained 2 days in a row.
I was like, "I have about 15 gallons," and he was like, "Oh, that's not enough." I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, first of all, I don't have the containers to carry more water.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Yeah, you're gonna need at least like 16 gallons, like for I don't know." He said something. I was like, "What the fuck?" Or 5 gallons a day per person. I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like,
that doesn't make any sense.
I was like, "Okay, well, I don't know." He's like, "Well, you have to figure out something because you have to filter your water." And I was like, "Well, I have a pool."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, perfect. You're set. You're set." Because the first thing is that people are gonna go after is the fucking water.
That makes no sense.
Once the water shuts off, well, that kind of makes sense. Once the water shuts off, then you know,
bro. Okay. Think about it like this, right?
Yeah.
It's illegal to collect water, right?
Exactly.
It rained. Okay, we've all watched the Survivor shows on TV.
Yeah.
How did they get water?
Yeah,
they literally rig up something to collect it.
So they're breaking the law.
They're breaking the law. But they're surviving. They're not dying.
They can go to fucking jail.
Bro, you could collect enough rainwater and filter it out. It's not hard to filter water.
It's not. My pool filled up maybe like 6 inches in the past week because of the rain.
Yeah.
If I had, and I thought about it too, I was like, damn, should I just put something out there? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing to collect the rainwater. I was like, let me try it, but I did. Maybe next storm.
Home Depot sells orange buckets for about $4.
Yeah.
Get yourself about 10 of those. It's $40.
Yep. Filter that bitch.
Leave them out when it rains and put the cap on it.
Yeah.
You feel me? And you could filter it with the Life Straw. Life Straws are sold at REM when they open again.
REM.
But I have 2 Life Straws at home. They're good for, I think, 800 uses.
Yeah.
Bro, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
I think I'm good.
So the other one, that's what he was telling me. So it was going about the pool water and stuff like that. He was like, he has this thing that sits on his counter. It's a Berkey filter. And I was like,
those are dope.
So I looked it up. I was like, oh, he's like, yeah, you should get one of these. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Maybe it's like $400.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, maybe I'll get one, but
there's easier ways to filter your
water. But if you get one of those, you know, it just sits there on your counter. And if it fucking rains, you get your water. If it's really hard up, you pour that shit in there. It filters. It lasts like 3 years.
Yeah.
The filter lasts 3 years.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
But you know what filter is even doper?
No.
A natural filter. Just, you know, charcoal, sand,
rocks, Joe.
Rocks. Like people forget how easy it is to survive off of minimal stuff.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the best tasting water. It isn't going to have a rosemary tint to it. Yeah. It isn't going to come in a reusable bottle or a disposable bottle, which is killing the landfills right now.
Yeah.
But we're not going to die. Yeah. There's tons of water everywhere.
Yeah.
If you really, really think about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't get it. People, it's strange. It always reminds me of that movie with the robot, and they're all in outer space. It's like a Disney movie.
Dude, they're all like that. But you know what? I think it's kind of parallel to what we're about to be in this shit if we don't fucking put our foot down. To be honest with you.
Yeah. Oh, it's happening. Yeah. It's happening.
I mean, the AI shit. I mean,
it's happening.
It's already here.
I think it's going to be a global situation. Well, because I think they've put their foot in something that they can't just gracefully step out of.
Yeah.
You feel me? And because it happened at the same time around the world, one of the most powerful things, one of the most powerful words in all of the world is choice. You feel me? At the end of the day, the powers that be may think they have power, but we decide. We choose to go along with it or not.
That's what I'm saying.
You feel me?
Exactly.
So it takes one person to say something that touches the hearts of everyone. Like, no, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take this shit anymore. You guys fucked it up.
Yeah.
Look at the world. We're taking over this shit.
Well,
it only takes one person to really...
If you go to fucking Melinda Gates and Bill Gates Instagram, and you look at the post and look at all the comments. They're like, "Fuck you, you piece of shit. We don't want your fucking poison. We know exactly what you're doing. Don't fucking bring this shit over here because we ain't having it." And it's like fucking thousands of comments. You know, I think it only takes one person to speak up, and it can spark something. Not that you have to go along with
because
the
so
right or left. Like, you know, you again use your critical thinking and say, hey, where do I want to be?
Why does he own a giant seed bank with the Rothschilds? Like, what the fuck?
Because that shit runs deep, man.
Like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, man.
It's all a power grab.
It is.
It's all part of being a globalist.
But human error and human error is the best thing that you can implement into any formula.
Right.
So they think that they know how this is going to end up. But if anything, it could be leading to the greatest release of freedom that we've ever seen.
It can go
either way. You know what I mean? This could be the hugest blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because you can see what's truly needed to run an entire country or an economy, and you can see what you don't need.
Yeah.
Cut the fat.
That's what I'm saying. So I was like, fuck this guy. Fuck Bill Gates. This bullshit. Like, fuck you, man. Like, put me in a room with that motherfucker. I'll give him something. Give him something he needs a vaccine for.
Exactly. Yeah. A large, well-planned strike in any way, shape, or form could cripple any state, any country, any economy. And it's getting to the point where they're putting people in a position where, you know, if you did the right thing before you jumpstart the economy, you have strikes that go on with the airplane industry or the airline, right? And it shuts shit down. You just shut shit down globally and put all the power into the people's hands. These people don't have to pay their rent for like a year. You feel me? Their power isn't being shut off like for like 2-3 months. You know what I mean? Like, they're learning things that they never knew before on how to survive outside of their regular routine. You just empowered people in a way that they didn't even know that they had power. Now they're bonding with their family. Now they're communicating with everyone. So, like, the human error factor that they're not considering, I have the most faith in.
Exactly.
That's why I said that, like,
humans are resourceful as
fuck.
And you see, like, I have some neighbors. They're really a pain in the ass, but they don't go along with the fucking flow.
Yeah.
They will not buy into this fucking, you guys stay in your fucking house until we tell you to come out bullshit. They're out there on the fucking sidewalk, partying their ass off, fucking bumping their music, no masks, standing close to each other.
And they look healthy and fine.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And I say, hey, at first I used to be like, man, fuck these guys. Here we go again with the fucking, but you know what it is? It's all about community. It's all about camaraderie. It's all about friendship. It's all about loyalty. And I see the same group of, probably about 10 people all the time at the same two houses. And the neighbors, and they're all fucking know each other. And they're not with this shit. It's like, no, man, listen.
I had to catch myself Easter. So Easter, what do we all do? We all prep so that way we can post on social media our little lonely egg hunts with our kids and the outfits. It was really sad, but I checked myself because, you know, God bless all those people that you know did this to keep the whole spirit alive and post. You know, it's to each his own. That's all good. But what really made me check myself is I saw one post where an entire fucking family of like 30, 40, 50 people met up at a park. And they were having an Easter egg hunt. They were having a potato sack race. They were enjoying life. They were doing all the things that you were put on this planet to do, positively. They weren't hurting anyone. But my instant reaction was hate. And my instant reaction was disgust. And I had to check myself, like, why do I feel this way watching something so positive? That's when I knew that something was wrong.
Program.
You feel me? I was programmed for a second. I mean, I woke up and saw this, and I was like, they're not doing anything wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I can guarantee you, based on just the numbers alone, each one of those people are going to go home and they're going to live another fucking 30, 40 years.
So if just like today when I went to the store and I posted a picture on Snapchat of me and you saw my little skull thing. So I was like, this is the only shit I got. I mean, I have a mask over here, but I was like, fuck that. I'm gonna go fucking rock this shit in the fucking store. I'm putting my fucking hat on, putting my sunglasses on, I'm putting my hood on, and I went in the store like that. And if I were to walk in there, here's the example I want to give. If I walked in there with no mask, and they say, "Hey, excuse me, sir, you have to have a mask to come in here," and what if I said, "You know what? Fuck you.
Yeah.
I need some motherfucking eggs, bitch."
Exactly.
You know what I mean? What if I said that and I just walked in there? And then what? They call the fucking cops.
Yes, they call the cops.
The cops come with no masks
and infect you.
No, but check it out. And then all these motherfuckers want to get me in trouble when I didn't do anything. When I put myself at risk, not anybody else. I mean, everybody else is covered up.
Yeah.
And then they want to throw me in jail.
Yeah.
And while they let all the rapists out, all the criminals out, so they can throw me into a little cell with 20 other people who aren't wearing face masks too.
Exactly.
So it doesn't make fucking sense.
They're pulling people off the bus, threatening to put them in jail because they aren't wearing a mask, but none of the people in jail have to wear a mask.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Fuck? Like it's completely backwards. None of it makes sense.
And that's where you have to fucking question what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
And you have to say, hey, what am I going to stand for and what am I not going to stand for? Exactly. What rights am I willing to give up and
which ones am I going to abide by? So, yeah, I think they're forcing people into a situation where they think their reaction is going to be sheepish.
They want to program them.
But I don't think it's going to be like that. I really don't think so.
I hope not. I really, because honestly, I think this is the only chance we get. This is the last chance that we're going to get, because the next one, and there probably will be another fucking pandemic, because, you know, that's what we're going to be used to now.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's going to be scared to go anywhere. They want to cover up. They want to put masks on. They don't want to fucking talk to anybody. Social distance, like 6 feet away. No more hugging. No more handshakes. Get the fuck out of here, you sons of bitches. No, that's not how it goes, man. That's just not how. That's not how we are as humans.
Right.
That's not how. That's not how we.
And it's never been like that.
No. That's what. So it's gonna change now, because they want to program you into saying, hey, no. We are going to tell you when you guys can go outside, what you can do, what vitamins you can bring, what food you can eat, who you can say hi to, what cities you can travel to.
Who can work, who can't work.
Exactly.
Where can you travel, how far you can travel.
It's fucking Gestapo shit, you know what I mean? And it's all been done before.
So it boils down to me to one thing. So everything is ran by money. You feel me? Money runs everything. If anyone does anything, it's always boiling down to money.
Yeah.
So in this country, I feel like the one thing that was the biggest issue was our debt issue. Now we're in even more debt. We're at like the highest amount of debt. We're in so much debt that it's mathematically impossible for us to pay it back.
Yeah.
There's no way we can pay it back.
No way.
How would you pay it back if you really think about it? Where are we going to get a surplus of a couple $1 trillion to be like, I found this under the house?
There's only one place for that where we can get that.
Space? Where?
Okay, and I want you to look it up, because there's only one place that has all the money in the world, and that's the fucking deep state motherfuckers. They have all the fucking money in the world. They own all the fucking money.
I feel you.
And so he's probably saying, hey, you know what, I'm just going to do this because I think we can. I think we can get the money back from these motherfuckers.
Right.
Just
I think so, but even if you recover the amount of money that you owe, it doesn't solve the issue. The issue is that our money represents not what it used to represent. You feel me? Like when you had $1, when I was in the 80s, if you had $1, you go to the grocery store, you're walking out with 4 or 5 items. You know, 4 or 5 candies.
Stop right there.
Yeah.
So what our money used to represent, and what did it have printed on the motherfucker? In God we trust. E pluribus unum. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not like that anymore.
No.
All that shit's out the window.
Yeah. It's really bad. It's really bad. Like right now, we're not only heading towards where Venezuela is. I don't think we ever will get there, just because we're, like I said, we're rich broke. We'll fret until the end of time. You know, we'll go blow up something before.
Which is fine, and that's why this is the greatest country on earth. And don't fucking give up your freedom or say that you're not a brave motherfucker, because we're land of the fucking free and home of the brave.
But the cracks are showing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's okay. Even the Mona Lisa's falling apart. You know what I mean?
The cracks are showing to the point where now there needs to be something implemented that's going to replace money, and I think that's where a lot of this cryptocurrency is going to go. I think that
it's all digital.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's going to be. We talked about this a couple episodes ago that like there's gotta be an international new world order type thing that's going to happen.
So I think here's the next thing too with even with like the cash. They're going to tell everybody, hey, listen. And I think I told my brother about this too. It's like, hey, everybody, check it out. This COVID-19, we don't want another second wave of it. What we found is going to be on your money.
Right.
So if you can turn all of your cash into us, we're gonna give you a little bonus.
That's a great segue to getting rid of it.
Yeah. I mean, if
now we're all using credits.
Exactly. So if me as a measly fucking puny human can think of that kind of shit, you can only imagine what these smart motherfuckers, and I don't want to call anyone smart because we're all fucking smart, but in their respective fields can think of. And if I thought of that shit, I would say, hey, if that was my plan, I would say, hey, give me all your money. It's fucking infected with coronavirus.
So now you can't.
Now I'm gonna give you 20% bonus to give me the cash money back. And now I'm going to give you this card. I'm going to give you plus an Amazon gift card. And then thank you so much. We don't have to use the cash anymore. Everybody, we're free from cash. And that's the way it's going to start.
Right. But now you're beyond tracked.
That's it.
They can track everything.
That's it. Now you can't fucking bribe somebody on the side. Exactly. Now they're going to know who you're giving fucking crack. Now you want to buy a crack rock? Venmo me, bitch.
Exactly.
They say, oh, you bought a fucking crack rock at 8:56 p.m. on Thursday the 14th? Listen, bitch, we got you. You fucking druggy bitch ass motherfucker.
Pay taxes on that crack.
Exactly. Give me fucking.
They're already doing it with
That's what I mean.
Yeah, so, I don't know, man. It's like the writing's on a wall. It's just that no one wants to believe it.
Yeah.
Until they actually see it.
You know why? I don't think anybody believes it right now because it's so real. It's so it's surreal. That's what it is. It's surreal.
It's like this would never happen.
Yeah.
It's happening. What do you mean it would never happen? It's actually happening.
Yeah.
Like look at your life right now. You know what I mean? Like you're out of a job, but yet you're getting paid by the government. Yeah. But everyone 3-4 years ago, I don't want to be in a socialist country. But yet you're waiting on those stimulus checks.
That's what
They're
I'm saying.
perfectly okay.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Change the narrative and things work out in the benefit of the government.
Figure it out yourself. Don't depend on these fools because they're gonna fucking tell you exactly what they want you to do.
Exactly.
The world is free. You can fucking go swim in the ocean from here to Hawaii if you fucking feel like it.
And for all the Trump fans out there, no disrespect to you. You know, love your president. I don't hate an individual president. I may hate the way they address things. Like just because I work for a job doesn't mean I absolutely love my manager. I respect what he does. I just may not like his swag. I may not like the way he talks to women. I may not like the way he, talks down to people.
Maybe he burns his popcorn.
Exactly. Maybe he opens up cans of tuna in the break room. I don't know.
He microwaves fish.
The president has no control over anything that happens in your country. So as hard as you guys are going for him, that's fine. Yeah. That's absolutely fine. If you love your country, the country's going to be there past 8 years.
Well, that's what I mean. It's our country, dude.
Exactly.
Don't forget there's a fucking Mount Rushmore that's not going away. Do you think that shit's gonna fucking fall off when they say, hey, you need a vaccine? No, man, that shit's there. Yeah. You think the ocean's gonna dry up because they say, hey, you can't fucking go to the fucking beach anymore? Hell no.
Exactly.
You think the mountains are gonna fucking crumble because you can't go to the fucking snow anymore? Fuck you. Nope. No, this is my fucking earth. I was born here just like you guys. Fuck you. This is
just
my
because
shit.
They section it off with the invisible borders. Don't mean that we aren't all the same people.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like you move to Canada, stay there for 20 years. You're not fucking Canadian. You're still fucking you. Yeah. You know what I mean? You are where. What's the quote? Wherever you are, that's who you are.
Ain't no fun.
You know? That one too. Okay. That's 96. No, but like wherever you are, you still are the same person you are. Yeah. You know, all our differences, color, race, age, we all go through the same shit. You know, hopefully you'll make it to 70. You know, to the age of that person you're disrespecting. Yeah. Hopefully you have a daughter who dates a black guy or something like that. Maybe he's a respectful young man. Maybe he isn't a gangster thug that you think he is. It makes you cross the street.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, the saying is...
They're not born that way.
No, I mean, hey, we're still who we are. Like, don't forget, you can take the boy out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the boy.
True, which is a blessing in disguise in some situations.
Absolutely.
You know, maybe his whole his whole place in life was to save your family member. Because he was brave enough to step up and save that person's life. You know what I mean? Just because a certain thing is painted a certain way doesn't mean it's negative. Use your own brain. Most of the people that we idolize in this country are gangsters. Like, if you really think about it, our forefathers that created this country, they were fucking outlaws and bandits.
That's
they
how
were
we got
gangsters.
here, man.
They stole the land.
That's it.
They swindled and stole and murdered and killed. Like, nothing's changed.
The only thing is some good dudes got in there and say, hey, you know what? Listen, we fucked up. Let's at least make it a little more feasible to the people who are already here.
The one thing I encourage everyone is use your own brain. Don't go off of what the story is or the narrative is that everyone's telling you.
Stay off of Facebook.
Please stay off of Facebook. Last thing, I want to mention a show that I've been watching is an Amazon original. Dope. It's called 000. It shows the movement of 5 tons of cocaine. From Mexico. To New Orleans to Italy. And there's 3 major families involved. There's a narco drug cartel. There's a regular fucking family that's just been in the transport game for a long time. Nothing gangster about them. Just a smart family. And then an Italian mob family. And there's a situation with the Italian mob family where the Don had to kill 2 of his family members based on misinformation. You know what I mean? Like, the Don knew the real story. And because he knew the real story, he had to react, and people ended up dead. But because the narrative was told to the son growing up wrong, the son ended up getting killed as well. Because all his life he believed in the wrong story.
Who's in there?
No one.
No
one famous, no one that you would know. It's just a really good story. But the point I'm trying to say is that a lot of times, because you believe so strongly in a story that's not true, you end up fucked. You feel me? And it's not your fault. It's not anyone's fault. It's like racist people. You feel me? It's like you believe what your dad and his grandpa told you without thinking for yourself. Now you're fucked. You can no longer have as many options in life as you would have. You can no longer meet and conversate with the people in life that you would have conversated with because of a wrong point of view. Think for your fucking self. You feel me? Like, the information that you can obtain and gather yourself, if you're not biased, is more valuable than any fucking story that your family, your aunt, your uncles told you. Think for your fucking self. And if we all do that, I think we'll be in a better place.
And trust those who have your best interests at hand.
Because you can feel it in your gut. It's instinct.
Exactly. Go with your instinct. Trust your gut. Don't fall for bullshit. Like, do your own critical thinking, man.
And be brave.
Be brave,
man.
That's
some cake ass motherfuckers.
That's what we're about. Man. That's what
following everything that people say just because that's the quickest way to join a group or be accepted. You know what I mean? Like, stop fucking following the crowd. You know, be your individual self.
No, for sure. But that's the thing. The thing on the back of the coin. Un pluribus unum, or whatever the fuck it's called. It's out of many, one. Right? So, I mean, hey, you're yourself. We're fucking out of many, be yourself. Like, use your own head. Use your best judgment. And
change is good.
And the change is good. Change is good. As long as it's in the positive light, because we want everything to be, it's never going to be perfect, but we want it to be okay. We don't want to be like, we don't want to be like China. We don't want to be like we don't want to be part of the United Nations. We don't want to be that bullshit. We don't want to be under that kind of rule. But 2 things that I was watching this week. So I haven't done a lot of TV watching or movie watching this week. I've been really busy, thank God.
That's good.
Yeah, but fuck, man. It's like I go and I work, and then I come home and I still got shit to do. But it's shit that I like to do. And not everybody's working right now, so it's like, okay. But one thing I was watching was, I couldn't remember the French movie I was watching last week. It was really dope. But
what's it about?
It was, so there was 5 French people They go out into okay. So there's this guy who owned like he was training. He was training them how to train. He was training them. Excuse me. He was training them how to survive an apocalypse. And say, hey, this is the things you need.
Right.
This is how you skin a rabbit. This is how you load your gun. Let's take some shooting practice, some target practice. This is how you start a fire.
Right.
These are your skills that you need.
Yeah.
I'm gonna teach you all that, and I'm gonna feed you. You guys stay here for a week.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna teach you how to make explosive booby traps, that kind of shit. And so anyway, it was kind of like a domino effect in the movies. The first guy, he made an explosive. It blew him up.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I don't know the name, so I'm not gonna spoil it for you. So
it's like a movie or episode?
No, it's a movie.
Oh
so
shit.
So one of the guests, he got blown up by his own explosive, and then it was like, oh shit, what the fuck we do? We have to call the police. He was like, no, because I have all this shit here, all this fucking explosive booby traps. We can't call the police. They're crazy. They'll lock me up.
Right.
And so he was like, you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm gonna go burn them. So he ended up burning the body.
Oh shit.
And everybody got pissed off at each other and was like, hey, what the fuck this guy. And then one guy was with the owner of the camp. And he was like, no, fuck you guys. Like, he's just looking out for you guys. And so it got into a big old shit. And so they went back and forth. And anyway, so it ended with one survivor versus the owner. And the owner actually ended up dying.
Oh shit.
And so it was a girl. She actually got out of that, and she was able to make it out, which was pretty cool. So the other one was if you have YouTube, you can go to you can watch the documentary. It's called Out of Shadow.
Okay.
And I think you probably a few of you probably
Out
seen
of Shadow.
Out of Shadow.
Out of Shadow. I think I've seen this.
And it's like probably like an hour and 20 minutes.
Okay.
And it talks about the pedophilia ring and like Pizzagate.
I'm hearing a lot about that now.
Because it all intertwines to what's going on right now. It kind of gives a backstory, like everything that's parallel with what's going on right now. So it talks about how Hollywood programs your mind. And it's no hocus pocus bullshit.
Just facts. Yeah.
It's just facts. It tells you like Hollywood. Yeah. The name Hollywood.
Okay.
Basically means so in Hollywood they make movies and they make programming.
Yeah.
And they make that kind of thing. So Hollywood, it was named Hollywood because of the trees that were there. Right. Which were holly trees. Right. Which holly trees, if anybody knows anything about Wicca or anything like that, they use that wood to make the wands to cast spells on people. Oh. And so interesting. Yeah, so Hollywood is kind of the same.
It's like a fantasy land.
Yes, but they're casting spells on us to program us.
They are.
Through the fucking
we've been programmed like our movies are so sought after and admired because they really can change an entire like generation like over a couple years. Yes. You know what I mean? Like look at Disney. There's a reason why they don't show the parents and the certain things that they follow. Like there's a reason for
it. Well, they were talking about Disney too. Another thing is that we're all saying, hey, if you ever notice that all the parents actually get killed in a lot of the Disney movies, and they kind of set a precedent to the little kids, like, oh shit, like. Anyways,
we're your parents.
Yeah.
We'll protect you.
exactly.
It's some creepy shit.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. It's twisted.
It's really creepy.
But it talks about Pizzagate, the fucking child perverts, and all that stuff, and all the Hollywood elite, and all that bullshit. So check it out. Out of Shadow. It's on YouTube.
Out of Shadow. I gotta check that out for sure.
Also, what I was watching was really cool. And it kind of struck a chord with me because it's kind of close to home. Yeah. It's called LA Originals.
Bro, I'm watching that now. I'm like 15 minutes. That's when I go home right now. That's when I'm watching.
That's tight.
Yeah, it's sick, dude.
Yeah, and it's got a couple of the homies are in it.
Right.
And it's all about a couple of guys, Mr. Cartoon and Esteban Oriol, out of.
I feel like they're not going to tell the whole story. The commercial part of the story,
but it's a good story.
It's a great story.
It's a great story. Yeah, if they told the backstory to all the stories that were going up, it would be even better. But it would ruin the vibe of what they wanted to.
I like the way they did it. They made it into almost like a street art type of, But that's not what was going on.
No. There's a lot of other shit, but it's a great piece, man. LA Originals, check it out. It's on Netflix.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch that one. Someone else recommended that one to me.
Yeah, that's all I've been watching. That's all the only things I've watched. I mean, and I always kind of end up back to like Twilight Zone.
So there was a book that I had when I was younger, and this is just I'm trying.
Charlie and Chocolate Factory.
No, I can still find that one. It's a band book.
A band?
A band book, because I can't find it anywhere. But I found it on LimeWire.
Yeah.
When it first came out.
LimeWire?
Yeah, I know. I just aged myself. It was it talked about like hacking phone lines and.
America's Cookbook.
Exactly. Bingo. If anyone knows where I can find that book, let me know.
Okay.
Shoot me a DM.
Oh, wow.
Shoot us a DM. I would love to have that book.
Yeah, because it's about, there's some useful information in there.
Yeah. It was a lot of information about basic things that you could do with basic materials.
Very true.
You feel me?
Very true.
Like, so if anything ever jumped off as far as like, you need to go back to basics, this is probably the book you want to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
I had it once. I had it on a PDF file or a floppy disk probably, but I don't have it anymore.
A friend of mine actually had a printed copy. It was like
shut the fuck up.
It looked like a big fat script. Yeah. It was,
I
he had the little brads, the copper brads in there and shit. I was like, oh fuck, okay, cool. Scott, I don't know what happened to that fool fella, but
they probably found him. I mean, it's not funny, but hey, probably happened. So if anybody has that book, let me know. Let us know.
That'd be tight. It's just for educational purposes.
Exactly. And I'm talking about the OG original copy. You know what I mean? There's
a documentary about the guy who actually wrote that book.
Get the fuck out of here.
Look, I'm gonna show it to you after that.
Okay, I'm gonna. I got nothing but time.
No. There's a documentary about the guy who wrote that book, and he wasn't doing it out of spite or malice. He just made it for educational purposes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and a lot of stuff that I remember reading in there had a lot to do with some stuff that was technically illegal. But none of the items that you needed were illegal.
Right.
You know what I mean? They were just
anywhere.
basic knowledge.
You can make
it's kind of like another manuscript that was floating around from Iraq. And it was like a starter kick to revolution type vibes that they were doing. It had a lot of destruction in it.
Yeah.
I don't want that book.
Yeah.
But it was how they kept us on our toes when we were going through, the war or whatever.
Yeah.
So, anyways. No, I love everyone.
Yeah, I do too, and I have a lot of hope for the people who.
Yeah, I have a lot of hope for the outcome of this situation. I just think that like somebody needs to intervene and be on a positive tip.
Yeah.
And call out what's going on. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I'm waiting for that whistleblower to come out and be like, you know what, this is wrong. I don't care if you kill me, but I'm going to tell you what's really going on. And I think that that's in any due time.
But
about to happen.
I think 1,000 whistles are louder than one.
Yeah, I think it's going to come from, and this is my prediction. I think it's going to come from Britain. I really do, because the people, like a lot of people, don't really put a lot of spotlight on Britain, but they're kind of the most powerful. They say we're the most powerful country, but honestly, Britain and England is the most powerful country. If you really do your history, if you really know your history, they literally started this whole shit as far as trade lines, military, taking over all kinds of shit. Like they gave us the blueprint to how to start America. Yeah, we're like their cousin. Right. You know what I mean?
No, I get it, yeah.
We're like we're the Bloods, the Crips. You know what I mean? If they started the whole gang shit. Anyways,
very true.
If you really, really think about it, so when the Queen passes, think about who's going to be in charge, and think about what they grew up in.
Yeah, Mr. Bean. He's next.
I love Mr. Bean. No, but think about her two sons and what they lost as children, and what their mindset would be. You feel me?
True.
So I think if anything, they'll come with such a different point of view that it's going to alter the whole course of the entire world. I really do. That's my prediction. Yeah. Because I don't see a lot of fighting between the brothers. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I see a lot of fighting between who's in charge right now, the Queen. But I really think that there's going to be a significant change in a lot of shit when she passes. Like,
interesting.
Seriously. Yeah, I've been watching it for a while. I'm like,
you're gonna have to wait like 30 years, dude.
Bro, she's like 94.
She's 240 right now.
And I know. She got that good henny.
Yeah.
Keeps her alive.
She got that Betty White lineage.
Yeah, I know.
Let's get the fuck out of here, man.
Let's bounce, man.
We have some good drink. Oh, you hungry again? What are you gonna get?
I'm making myself some deluxe top ramen.
See, yeah.
Little baby shrimps.
Yo, listen, I saw some, and I hate eating top ramen or that kind of shit because it kind of fucks with.
It does. It's a lot of salt.
Like the gluten in the noodles too. But I saw some recipes online, like looking on some board shit.
And I've been
I
fucking
was like,
with
this looks kind of good.
Exactly.
I was like, oh, okay.
Bro, I had top ramen and salmon. I fucked with some little egg in it. Like, I've been fucking up some top ramen. Not because it's like the most delicious thing,
Right.
but like that's what I've been practicing with.
That's funny.
But it's not easy to make a meal that you see. I hate seeing these TikToks with all these different meals. You go to get the ingredients and they only have half of what you need. So
Yeah, exactly right. But you gotta improvise.
Exactly.
Adapt and open it up. And Chico?
Yeah.
Chico
Thanks for
chocolate?
hanging out with us, Chico.
Yeah, good looking at that.
You look fine in that shirt, bro. You know what I mean? With the cross and shit.
That's funny shit. Well, we'll catch you next week.
Yeah, next week for
Chris will
sure.
be here. He's gonna be in all his glory. And he's gonna bring some delicious drink.
There we go.
And then we'll get it going.
All right. Peace, peace.
Yo, yo.